We're here in Harmon, coming to you live all over the world on YouTube, Facebook, and KUM TV8, everybody. My friends at Clutch Guam are creative storytellers for this new generation of athletes and sports fans, and a few of their documentaries will air on the stations of KUM beginning next week. Joining me now is someone you may know, Coach Dom Sablan. Now, many of you know Dom from elite basketball, of course, from Clutch Guam. I remember him as like this little 5-foot-something point guard for FD who was afraid of no man. He went right into there, battled with the bigs. And I think, Dom, welcome to the show, first of all.
I appreciate it, Jace. Thanks for having me.
And it's with that intrepid nature that you now are getting into, visual storytelling, and you're chronicling, what we love is Guam sports. Yeah,
100%. So, I mean, for us, it's really the interest of diving in and exploring the different sports cultures on Guam. Guam is obviously a unique place, and it really resonates as well on the sporting scene as well. So we wanted to just come in and provide some storytelling avenues for athletes, and just kind of dive deeper into where sports started on Guam, where it's at today, and hopefully where we can elevate it in the future.
And I also appreciate, you've done 2 films right now, one about the story of Guam rugby. So you're really going through the history, the blood, the sweat, the frustration, the triumph of what it took to actually bring rugby on Guam and make it as popular as it was. And then you've also got something that I'm sure is very, very close to your heart, We Are Brothers, the story of a season in FD basketball.
Yeah, so just going back to the rugby documentary, my good friend Matt Scrove from Guam time.
Sure.
I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Scrove family.
Shout out to Matt.
Yeah, shout out to Matt.
And Chris.
And Chris,
and
yes, Chris, and everybody. But that really came about with Matt just kind of approaching me and wanting to do this for the rugby community, and for us at Clutch, it was special for us because it was our first documentary or first venture out of basketball. So we went in there with an open mind, not knowing anything about the sport, and just kind of letting the story unfold from the early pioneers of the sport, in the mid '90s, and guys like the Claros brothers, who I'm sure your audience knows very well. So it was a great story, and we're really excited for the island to really dive in and understand where the sport began and where it's at.
And Coach, I also like how when telling the story of rugby, you interviewed a lot of the guys who were the pioneers, and letting the young people who now, they may get into this because, oh, my classmates are, we're going to go try out for rugby, and I see it it's so much fun. It's there are a lot of people that worked for years and years and years to make these opportunities possible. So you're standing on the shoulders of giants.
100%, and that's the biggest takeaway when viewers see this documentary is they see the end product of what rugby is now, but to understand its humble beginnings and really see who those early adopters were, I think is going to make it even more special for the rugby community.
All right, now let's talk about your other documentary, We Are Brothers. I watched a screener of this. It is phenomenal. I mean, I've always been a big fan of sports documentaries. I watched, NFL films growing up, HBO Sports, big fan of 30 for 30. This stands toe-to-toe with all of those in terms of production quality and storytelling. So, I mean, bravo. And tell me now, Dom, how challenging was this? Because, not only are you, giving props to your alma mater and, helping the younger generation of the Brotherhood, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on you to tell the story right.
Yeah, especially shout out Eddie Pelkey. So, this was especially close to me because I'm obviously an alumni of FD basketball, and I understand the program and how the program sets us up for things further out in our lives. So that's kind of the story I wanted to dive into. Was number one, obviously cover the season, cover the team, but dive deeper into what FD basketball is all about and how it impacts the lives of young men.
Also featured in this shot right now, I know he's coming up, a very good friend of yours, Chris Fernandez, whose number 21 jersey is retired at the Phoenix Center. So you guys are bringing all the heavy hitters back and just showing that, you don't just put on a jersey and play for 4 years and then whoop-de-doo, I'm going to go off to college and everything like that. This is something, a tradition and a legacy that you carry for life.
100%. And, to have Eddie and Chris kind of dive in and really unpack what it really means to be a part of this program, I think was really special. And what made it even more special is this was Eddie's last season as head coach. For the past 10 years.
There's Chris.
There's Chris right there. Great lighting.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's special to kind of see that generation of Chris and Eddie come down and teach these kids and pass on the knowledge.
Sure.
So.
Okay, Coach, can we now geek out on filmmaking and everything? Because looking at the production quality again, the choice of camera angles and the fact that you're doing this all pretty much like first person, everyone you interview looks directly into camera, and they don't have leading questions and everything like that. They're just speaking from the heart. How was your creative process in figuring out how you actually wanted to frame and how you wanted it to look and the impact on the viewer?
Yeah, so obviously with this documentary, it's a lot more intimate. We wanted to really get this. First of all, we just let stories unfold. We don't come in with an agenda saying this is how we want to tell the story. We kind of let the subjects tell the story over a 2-3 month period, and then you start to see small stories develop, and we just pack it all together, and it came out great.
Yeah, man, I'm cringing looking at like those practices in FD gym. Not because I don't have respect, but I lost a lot of games in that gym when I was in high school. Okay, so when can people expect to see this? Because remember, there are 2 films, you guys. It's a Guam rugby story and We Are Brothers, the story of FD basketball. When can they see them?
We're set to launch it next week. You could check your local listings or go to KUM.com for the showtimes, as well as just check out our Instagram page. We'll be posting all about it next week.
Well, and I have a belated Christmas present for you and everything like that. We're also going to stream it on our YouTube channel and on Facebook. So
awesome.
People get it. So we'll hook that up for you.
I appreciate that.
Well, we know you got friends here.
Thank you, man.
All right, Dom.
I appreciate you.
Tell you what, look into that camera and just let people know. Throw one of these at him, because that's Dom Sablan, everybody, doing wonderful things to make sure that everybody knows the history of Guam sports and the amazing stories that there are to tell. So, Dom, thanks a lot and congratulations, man.
Appreciate it, Jace. Thank you.
All right, please stay tuned because Hotspot continues right after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news plus access